everyone.
This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, everyone. Tonight is April 20th, 2023, and this is the ASCA Board of Directors monthly conference call. Directors that are on the call tonight is Ann, Carol, Denise, Jan, Donna, Liz, Susan, and myself. Gina wasn't able to be with us tonight. So our first agenda item is the March 23 Treasury's Report. Jan?
Sorry, I had all my screens open and the one I was looking at, of course, went away. So now I'm on. The beginning, well, let's look at the reconciliation for the foundation account. We'll start with that one. This is the quarterly, the first quarter for it. The current balance of that account is $40,234.22. Then we have the second page of this document. You can see the running totals, but really just looked at the boxed areas. Those are the funds that are actually sitting in this account in each of the required areas of the foundation. So is there any questions about the foundation account? If not, we'll move to the March 23rd financial reports. The beginning balance is 84,200 and I got to make it bigger, 18 and 66 cents, and the ending balance was 53,271.93. That's the end of March. If we go down and look at some of the comparisons between March of last year to this year, things are slightly lower in income and also expenses. However, our program income is holding its own and is a little higher. We're not seeing the decreases of some of the postage yet. Hopefully, maybe we'll see some of that reflected next month as more clubs possibly go to more paperless journey. So is there any questions on this report? Okay. I'm also seeing the credit card statements. I don't know if she put it in the OneDrive. It's all been reconciled with the invoices are included. A lot of those are some computer items that are monthly fees. And so those have all been reconciled with the bills and you can see those included. Any questions on that account? The accounts payable list is included there, so you get an idea, and that is to today. There was a couple that we saw have cleared that we're going to check out, and we're working closer to making sure that we see what the unpaid bills are. And so we do have the QuickBooks unpaid bill. I believe what's in your Dropbox has one item, but what she sent me today, that has been paid and cleared, so that's no longer outstanding. If we go over to the finals fee for March, I usually kind of like the second page better than the first page, which is by the show year. First page, sorry. So that amount has been transferred to the $7,996 has been transferred into the savings account that's dedicated to these funds. Just a side note, Ray's been instructed to close the 2022 national checking account because it was tied to some things that we didn't think it should be. And so we wanted to make sure, and I told him to put those funds in the finals funds savings account. So those hadn't moved yet today, but that process is happening and he will be opening a new account for 2024 nationals because they do those alternates. I think that's it unless somebody has some questions.
Hey, Jan, I have a question on the credit card statements. There's a charge for $1,499 to Microsoft. Do you know if that was a one-time payment that they use on the credit card, or is that a monthly charge? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is, and I got it after 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock when I was sending notes to the office. Susan, do you know? That definitely looks like something that could be.
I looked at that as well, and it appeared that it was the purchase of another computer, and I'm not certain that that's correct. The $14.99 seems like a very exorbitant amount for a monthly fee, and
It does
I
say
looked through
computer, not just, I don't know. Yeah.
right, but that's oftentimes how he lines things out for accounting purposes. So I was trying to look through the actual invoices that were attached to the reconciliation to see if I could tell get some more information on that. I'm scrolling through. I'm sorry for the delay.
Yeah, I scrolling too. I thought I looked.
Microsoft invoices for the billing period 1/1/23 to 1/31 of 23. Invoice date, invoice number, but there's nothing to actually describe what that invoice entails. There's a billing summary with charges and credits and tax.
No, the next page is kind of off, but it's all in there. So all of
It's
those
network storage, database security.
SendGrid?
are no is the
SendGrid?
Azure. We pay Microsoft for the Azure.
Okay, there it is delineated. You're right. Thank you. The Twilio SendGrid for Azure. So the total on that one must be the $14.99.
Yeah, it looks like
some quick math.
because the database right there is $750. So I think
Right.
with all the little ones, you're there. So yeah, I remember asking about this one a while ago because that's a lot of monthly charges. And I know that this is something that the IT committee is working on, and we can talk about that when it gets to that.
Okay, so from what we understand right now, that is a monthly charge.
It appears so.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any other comments regarding the Treasury report? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I so moved.
I move to approve the treasurer's report. This is Donna.
I have a motion by Donna. Do we have a second?
This is Liz Nelson.
Okay, thank you, Liz. So we have a motion by Donna and a second by Liz to approve the March 2023 Treasury's Report. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
I'm
So
gonna,
what was that, Jan?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, thank you, Jan. Okay, the next item on the agenda is removing the credit card information from all ASCA forms. Jan, this is your topic.
At this time, the only form that the office and the IT group felt we could remove is the sanctioning form. Right now, the sanction form is downloaded into the system, and Heidi has all these messages saying that please do not use credit card on the form. I think we're vulnerable there. So if we would remove the sanctioning numbers and Sarah would put a information of how they can do the online and be able to pay that way. That is the only form that I'm recommending at this time. So I would like to make the motion that we remove that credit card information off the bottom of the sanctioning forms for all the venues.
I would second that motion. This is Carol.
Okay, we have a motion by Jan and a second by Carol to remove all of the credit card information off of the sanctioning forms for all programs. Any discussion?
So Jan, this was a, you checked with Sarah and this was like a compromise? Because I remember she wrote a long letter if we tried to take it off of everything. But now since we have talked with Heidi and Sarah, and so I just want to confirm that this was why it's just the sanctioning form that we're doing it, because by removing it, it does not create a tremendous amount of extra work for the office. Is that the conclusion that you came to?
Yes, and it also would help alleviate having the possibility of a credit card coming across our system. So we need to not have that happening.
Great, thanks.
So that's why it's just the one thing, and it would be the beginning of, and that it's a set amount. She even has the late fee set in there because I just did some. It's relatively easy to sanction, much easier than it was before when you had to add all the information for every item. So, and I got notification the next day from the office. So, that area is a-okay, and I believe I shared that with all of you, that statement from the assistant manager. So, yeah, that's all I got.
Great, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Ann. Thanks, Jan. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion passes. Thanks, Jan. Next on the agenda is National Specialty Sites. Liz, I believe this is yours.
Yep. All right. So the NEC is still looking at some sites one in New York, and I forget where the other one is, but they're still looking at them. They had initially thought that a site in Winnemucca would work out, but it did not. Apparently, there were rumors that it was free or whatever, but it isn't. And then also there was an issue with the airport being too far and things like that. So Winnemucca is out. So then they were waiting for Denise to talk to the Nebraska site to see if we could move the second event out of 2025. And apparently Denise has been able to talk to them. I think Denise can go ahead. She has a report on this conversation with Nebraska, so I'll let her do that before we go on.
Oh, sorry. Did you want me to do that right now, Liz?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to talk about some more stuff. So I talked to Jana today in Nebraska. And again, I have to reiterate how gracious the staff is at that facility. She has agreed to write a new contract, the same contract, but just for 24 and 2024, all the same information, but that contract was compiled and combined with 2025. So she wants to write it for just 24, and by our request, 2027. This would allow us to move our site in 25 and 26 to number one, a much less expensive that also has a record of having high entries site, which would be Bakersfield, and again to Colorado, which people have used before, which we've used before, and the expense of that is also a little bit less than some of the sites, and the entry has always been very good there. So they have completely supported our request to split the 2 years, still the same price, still with the same financial backing or support from the grant. So that's my positive report. I'm excited about that. It's going to be great. Thank you. Does anybody have
Thanks,
any
Denise.
questions? Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
So this is Denise then mentioned the NAC then is recommending that the board approves a rotation of Bakersfield in 25, Greeley in 26, and Nebraska again in 27. And of course, all those contracts will have to be written up. But I think we should let the NAC know whether we're good with this plan or not. I personally think it's good. Bakersfield, since Nebraska has been so graceful to move it to 27. Yeah, Bakersfield and Greeley, have always worked out well, and the profits from it have been considerable. So yeah, I'm on board with it.
Any discussion for Liz?
I have something to say. You want to go around, or this is Jan? It has to do with Winnemucca. I did not know that whole beginning information that Liz shared. That wasn't what I got from the Nationals meeting. I moved my date up to go look at Winnemucca. I was there this last Monday. I did not understand that the Nationals committee wanted all this done right away. I did not uh, push the gentleman that I needed it yesterday until today. He has to negotiate what dates. We don't have dates. He has 2 slots that he can put us in for a Wednesday through a Thursday. The facility would be a good possibility. There's a huge grandstand area that overlooks 2 arenas. You could build a duck facility in that area. There's a pavilion. The disadvantage for agility, the pavilion, just the arena size is 140 by 263. So that means the arena sizes would be like 86 by 120 instead of 100 by 100. There is also an outside area that if they wanted to be outside, and then around that area is bleachers, a whole setup area. There's an office adjacent to that. Then there's also a big event center. So their maps say, but it's the actual dimensions of the arena is 150 by 244. Both of those arenas are on very packed dirt, or they can mix it up for horses. They can do about anything. I saw 3 different ways that the dirt was mixed. If, agility lets them know exactly how they want the dirt, that would really help. They water it. They have hoses in there. They do a lot of that kind of care. The event center would be able to hold the confirmation and obedience. If they wanted to be further away, they could be on the other side on a concrete area. There's lots of options in that building. There's concessionaires. There's areas for the scent trial could be under the grandstands. I was looking at that. There's over 100 campsites in one area. There's 400 camp. Oh, by the way, that's fully electrical and power. There's many stalls varying from dirt floors to cement floors to matted floors with solid walls. Uh, the way this facility is free is by the community fair board working out deals with the local community. And um, that is the process he's supposed to be on, is writing that contract. And he says normally that uh, is a free with the amount of people, dogs coming into that area. And he can even see that they would be adding money to the pot. And if we went there more often, they put in more incentives. So, and they run shuttles from the motels. They talked about they would help us maybe develop a shuttle from the Reno airport to um, the site because it is 2.5 hours. Um, but the cars right now weren't that expensive, and we would be saving on the site. And we're usually renting cars and doing things like that as well. So yes, the distance from the airport is a lot, but it is right on Interstate 80. So it's a major freeway comes into that town. So he is working out dates. He had the wrong year when I was there. So um, that's what I would say. So me personally, I I would kind of like to wait to find out what this site can really offer us. Thank you.
Yeah, but that, I don't know what happened, but that's not what I was told to bring to the board. So um, I think that I don't know if the board decides to wait. Um, I can certainly tell the committee that the board decided to wait to see if there is more information on Winnemucca that comes to the NAC from that Jan can put together. But my understanding also was that we needed to move forward with Greeley because they were waiting on us to make a decision. So it's up to the board what you want to do. I'm just forwarding what the NAC asked me to forward, which was the recommendation of Bakersfield on 25, Greeley on 26, and Nebraska on 27.
Yeah, Laura spoke with me, and apparently Greeley has been holding off booking that site, and they were waiting on us. They do, of course, this is what they all say. I've got somebody waiting in the wing, but the NAC really wants to. It's just a couple of years away, so they really want to tie that site down before they decide to move on and give those dates to somebody else.
Yes, we also, at this point, that we have a contract, a guarantee on the contract in Bakersfield that will be the same contract as we had in 2019. The only difference would be the price of labor that has gone up, that we would have to increase, what we would have to pay for actual labor, which was not a real large amount of money to begin with. And the fact that the show site is maintaining the low rate, much lower rate, will help us out
Right.
a lot.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
drive has a chart comparing Greeley with the information on Greeley and Bakersfield. So if you guys have looked at it, but it's there.
Can I ask a question? This is Donna. So I think from what I was reading on the emails, what came through is that Winnemucca was actually going to be $30,000. But Jan, are you saying that it still potentially could be free?
Yes,
Jan?
that's what he said, that it was free if all those things happened. And he gave me the impression that that's what it would be. But I'm waiting for all that information. Originally, I wasn't even going to go there till the middle of May. So, yeah. I
Did
wouldn't
he
want to
have
be
an idea?
booking sites for that many years. That's the issue. We're tying up a situation that might not be the best situation for ASCA.
Well, and did he have an idea of when he would have for sure that information?
He texted today that he was working out the dates. So he had some new people in, it's a into September date or a beginning of October date. And he was trying to juggle the schedule and figure out where they want to go, because the month he was dealing with was a 5-week month. And so, yeah, I'm not even sure that there's going to be dates, but he had 2 different weekends he was working on, and he's waiting for callbacks from the other organizations. These facilities are all full.
Right. And like a free facility is very appealing. That would be huge. The other question I had on the I'm looking at the comparison, and for Denise on Bakersfield, the grant income, it says unknown. Does that mean there will be grant income and we don't know how much it is, or we don't know if there will be grant income?
When we did it in 2019, it was just a club hosted thing at that time. And it was the 4th time that we've used it. And so the fair manager, we were talking about it, and he mentioned that partway through, and we'd already done a lot of planning on it. And he said, there are grants available through I think it's the conference center or something like that. Or I don't remember if it's the conference center or the commerce center, or anyway, that is based a lot, probably more like Brian. It's based on the hotel usage. And at that point, we had a lot of things in place already, and we just didn't apply for it. But it sound, and I can check that out with the event coordinator there now, and we would certainly apply for it now, and see how that would work. I'll be able to find that out.
Okay, that would be great. That would be good information. And Jan, you said that Winnemucca does have grant money then that would be available to us. Is that correct?
They don't call it grant money. I think it's all sponsorships out of the casinos for advertising. The way he describes it, they're happy we're in there, and that's why they're doing all those things. And if it's in October, that's when they really want people in there, and because that's not the high tourism time.
Jan, didn't you say also that the dates they have available are like a Wednesday to a Thursday?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, girls. That's all the questions that I have.
Any other questions for Jan or Liz? So Liz, as liaison, we could entertain a motion to approve the NAC's recommendation, or
Right.
we could postpone for a little bit longer and get some more information on Winnemucca. I'll go on your advice.
So I would just want to say that I personally would like everybody, like I would like, if, free is a good price. If we do get it for free, and I think before we vote on something that's 3 years away, we need to maybe have more information, would be my, I would like to have all the information before I actually voted on this. This is Carol.
And I'm also researching East Coast sites, and I don't want to eliminate that part of the membership if we're going to be on a rotation.
Jan, when I was talking to Nebraska, I asked her if she knew of any sites in the East, and I told her she knows what our requirements are. And she suggested and I thought we had already checked it out, but it was in Louisville, and it's the Kentucky State Fair grounds, I believe. I didn't know if that had been looked at before or not, but she thought that was the only one that she knew of in the East that would be comparable in size to what they are.
Which one was that, Denise?
It was in Louisville. It's where they have the state fair.
Uh-huh.
Louisville, Kentucky. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't remember the exact name of it, but that's where it is. And I knew we looked at one in Louisville, but I thought that it was
We looked at something in Kentucky, but there was something.
Cost prohibitive.
Yeah, I thought it was the cost that was the problem.
Right.
But I can bring it up to them again and see. So
would really be able to wait even just like one more month so we could get more information? It's 3 years out, so would they be able to just wait just a few more weeks?
I don't think that my impression of Colorado is that they don't want to wait. I don't know, because they were willing to do the same thing as Bakersfield, use the same contract as we had used prior in Colorado.
Right. Yeah, that's the impression that I got too, that Greeley has to be done pretty quickly.
Right. So
the only other possibility that I can offer, is to do a special session or a special meeting to take care of this, but I'm not sure that we can wait weeks.
Right.
I mean, I can certainly ask Renee but I don't think the Greeley situation could wait long.
I found the reason why Louisville wasn't available in the list, and it says no available dates, like they have permanent stuff going around.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Susan. I listened to the meeting on Tuesday night, and I was left with the impression that if we did not commit to Greeley, we were going to lose those dates, even though it's at 26 in 2026. So I think that that's the driving force for getting those dates squared away. And I know we generally have to pick these dates 2 and 3 years in advance. So I think that that's the drive for getting the dates squared away with both Bakersfield and Greeley. Bakersfield, I know Denise has got a good in with those guys, but the dates that we want for Greeley, evidently there is, as somebody has already alluded to, another organization wanting the same dates, but they would defer to us for the primary choice on those dates. So I don't know what we need to do. If we look at this facility in Winnemucca and it does seem to fit the bill, do we not keep it on the plate for the future instead of having to rush through a contract and then having to negotiate with the entities that are important in that city to get everything lined out as to what the benefits and amenities that they might be able to offer to us would be? Thanks.
Like I said previously, I'm presenting what the committee wanted me to present, right? Which is that schedule. So I think I would like to put a motion forward to go ahead with this schedule, and then we either vote for it or not, right? And then whatever happens, whatever arrangements can be made after that, then that's another story. But I think that I would like to make a motion to approve the recommendation of the committee.
I would second that, Denise.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Liz and a second by Denise to approve the NAC's selection or national sites for the next 3 years. That would be, or the next 3 years. It would be Bakersfield in 25 and Greeley in 26. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm opposed.
I'm
This is
opposed,
Carol.
Jan.
Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. Liz, thank the NAC and communicate back to them.
Yep, I sure will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Next on the agenda is the Systems Liaison Report. Jan, this is yours.
Yes. The committee is still researching the code and working on that. I will ask them about the Azure, but I do know we do have some experts in that, and that is the language that they would be working in. So I will check with them. There is other areas that we're paying monthly fees on, that AWS and some of those things. They're aware of those and trying to figure out which ones they need and which ones they don't. We've brought on additional support so that the ASCA.org side can also help the back end of the portal. And they're trying to come up with solutions to streamlined so that the office has easier ways for people to be paying more things into the office and not having to do it. So they're looking at a staging area to be able to test some things. They're also going to be meeting with the pass company to do a transfer of all the information. And so has the past team has been working with the current team. So I don't have a lot to report of any new items that they've accomplished, except you can sanction online. And there is a QT area if you're having a problem with the portal. You can also do that online. Uh, and so those are a couple areas that they're trying to help make things a little easier for everybody to look at. Let's see my list. I think that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Anybody have a comment for Jan on the IT report? Okay, thank you, Jan. Kala, I do have a question for you. Were you able to get logged into the Google Docs that Inventive sent you regarding all of the documentation and get that swapped over to our Google Docs?
I got the invitation from Jen, and I'm going to work on getting that.
Okay, thank you. Please keep me up to date and let me know how that goes. And let's make sure that we communicate with the IT committee once that has all been established and let them make sure that we're not missing anything. Seems like Inventive has been very supportive and worked hard to get us that information. So I would like to just make sure that there's nothing we're missing. So as soon as we could get that done, that would be great, and get their advice on that.
I will do.
Thanks, Kyle. Okay, so if there's no other questions for Jan, we'll move on to the next topic, and that is the employee handbook. And Liz, I believe that's yours.
Yep. Well, this is leftover from the school meeting. If you remember, when we looked at the handbook, there was a couple of things, the health insurance situation that we needed to change. And so David made those changes. And so now I would like to move to approve the revised employee handbook. And I believe that Carla put it in the drive as well.
Thank you, Liz. Any questions for Liz regarding the new employee handbook? Okay, hearing none, I'd like to thank Liz and David for spending quite a bit of time going through this, making some changes that benefits ASCA. So thank you guys. So hearing no more discussion, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
I'm not sure I have a second.
Thanks,
I'll
Liz.
second it, Donna.
Okay, so now we have a motion by Liz and a second by Donna. Now, do we have any further discussion?
Thank you,
Okay.
Liz.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. We'll move on to the next item. So 2023 ballot. I think everybody has seen that. That's been sent out by Calla. I'm not sure there's any changes that need to be made. I think I thought everything looked good. Does anybody have any discussion on the 2023 ballot?
Rick, this
Okay.
is Denise.
Go ahead, Denise.
The only thing I had a question on, and I'm sure it's because of the folding of the ballot, is that the address is upside down next to the rest of it. So is that because where the window is on the envelope?
No, I believe everything's going out by email this year unless somebody contacts the office. I could check with Ray, but I'm sure you're right. It's because of the fold if it is sent out by regular mail.
Right. That's the only thing that I noticed. I just assumed that was what it was.
Yes, I feel certain that's what it is. I can check with Ray, but if we can go ahead and hopefully get this approved tonight, that would be great.
Yeah, we still have to send it out by mail this year, hence one of the bylaw changes that's on the ballot.
Yes, correct, Ann. Thank you. Any other discussion on the 2023 ballot? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make a
Okay, Denise, thank you. Do we have a second?
This is Ann, I'll second.
Thank you, Ann. So we have a motion by Denise and a second by Ann to approve the 2023 ASCA ballot as presented. Any final discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. The next motion, or the next item on the agenda is a motion from the Obedience Committee. Liz, this is yours.
Yep. So you guys have the motion by the Obedience Committee in the drive. This was a motion that was made quite a long time ago. And at the time, I don't know where the information got crossed or whatever, but they had been told that this required programming, but it really didn't. Um, so the committee is requesting that we go ahead and go on with approve this motion and make it effective June 1st of this year. The change, even though it doesn't affect a lot of people, it does affect eligibility for what classes you can be in. Like you can't be in Novice A forever anymore. But so it's, I think that most of us believe that it's not really an administrative change. So if we vote the motion through, it will have to be an exception to the rule, I believe. So I guess I'll entertain questions or comments from everybody as you want, Rick.
Okay, thank you, Liz. Comments for Liz regarding the obedience motion? Any comments?
This is Anne. I missed a little of the conversation because I was switching Wi-Fi networks. And I hope everyone read my initial response when she put it, because I thought it would be helpful to the board to see the reasoning behind this motion. But I do agree that it affects competitors. May not be a lot of them, but it does, and it is a time factor on it. So it's actually a rule change. Thanks.
Thank you, Ann. Any other comments? So Liz, the motion as presented as administrative change, correct?
It's not really presented as an administrative change, but it is presented as effective date of June 1st, which is the issue, right? Because usually changes that are not administrative have to be done way earlier. I forget exactly what the date is, but we're past that. On the other hand, this is probably something that the obedience committee didn't have fault on, right? Because they were told something that wasn't accurate. So I guess it is up to the board whether they want to approve this motion with the June 1st, 2023 date or not.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions before we vote? Okay, hearing none, I will call for a motion, and this motion is regarding the novice A and B class eligibility by the Obedience Committee. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'm sorry, what is actually being voted on right now? Are you voting on the motion as it is with the June 2023 effective date, or
Correct.
are you voting on whether to allow this to be an administrative change or not? Because you guys the deadline for the changes to the 2023 rulebook is February 10th of this year, and that applies to every program.
The motion was presented with that date. So I think most of the board agrees that it's not an administrative change. So whoever says yes is because they're willing to give an exception to the rule, right? Otherwise, a director that doesn't think that it should go forward and should wait until next year would vote no on the motion.
Okay, so let's do a roll call on this.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be clear for Calla. So if you vote yes, you are agreeing to an exception to allow the 2023 June rulebook edition.
You're right.
So, okay, thank you. So, Ann?
I disagree. Have the date and the committee bring it forward before the deadline and have an effective date of June 1st, 2024. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ann. Carol?
I don't really have a comment. Thank you.
Carol, we're voting to approve or not approve.
Okay, so I'm gonna vote no, that I agree with Ann that it should be in 2024.
Okay, thank you, Carol. Denise?
I'm going to vote no because of the rule for the, because it's not administrative, it's a rule change. I do think that it would be more in sync with other venues that have the same type of rule of moving up consistency, but because the rule says that, I think we need to adhere to the rule. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Jan?
No, that it should be 2024 effective date.
Okay, thank you, Jan. Donna?
I vote no and agree it should be a 2024 effective date.
Thank you, Donna. Liz?
I'll agree. It should be 2024.
Susan?
No, same reason. Should be a 2024, not an administrative change.
Okay, thank you, Susan. I vote no as well, for the same reasons. So the motion fails. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys for clarifying that. Thank you.
I will let the obedience committee know. Yep.
Okay, thank you, Liz. So our last order of business is last month's email business. If anybody would like to make a motion to approve that.
This is Susan. I move to ratify the March 2023 email business.
I'll second it.
Okay, I had a motion by Susan. Denise, was that you?
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you. So a motion by Susan and a second by Liz to ratify the March email business. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. So that is the last agenda item for tonight. So I'd like to thank everybody for listening, and we will see you guys again next month. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.
Night.